I'm here today with Blenda Batista. She is a professor of positive psychology at the Centenary University in the US. She is a lecturer and also a happiness coach, and she is currently doing her PhD in the same field. So welcome, Blenda. Thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure for me to be here, and I'm glad to serve with the best of my knowledge and the best of my skills.
I would love to hear a bit more about your research on remote workers and what kind of challenges remote workers face nowadays.
So what is coming up in the research right now is, first of all, the lack of cohesion. Remote teams are feeling a bit disconnected, and that can come through many ways, but one of them is the difficulties in communication, sending short and sometimes even rude messages. Also, the lack of empathy, knowing that there is someone that has a life, that has a family in the other side of that email, for example. And another one is lack of support, especially in a remote setting, that you need to know who to contact, where to find information, and if that's not available readily for you, then it's causing some anxiety for sure. So overall, what I'm seeing is a lack of union within teams.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think about communication in remote teams?
Yes, it's coming up quite often. It's actually the number one complaint throughout my research right now, to the point that this person that I interviewed, I cannot disclose, right? But she said she's creating a protocol on how to communicate, and then this is set across the entire company, and then everybody knows how to communicate, when to communicate, which channels to use. And this usually reduces the level of anxiety and also the expectations on when I have to answer, when will I ever receive this answer from my employer, or something like this.
What do you think are the biggest benefits of these remote teams or hybrid teams actually coming together in person?
So let's think of a team like an orchestra. So everyone knows their part, when to play, when to come in, when to stop. A literally orchestrated team works in that way. But if your goals are not so clear, or people are working based on their own agendas and things like that, then things can get messy. So you want everyone playing the same symphony and knowing when to come to play. One of the ways you can do this is like having regular team meetings, either online or in person, but always having those goals aligned and well set, like clear for everyone. Then another way is to strengthen the bonds among your colleagues. So then that can be done with different activities, a bit more ludic, like a bit more fun activities, even during work, building that time for your team.
And how can these meetings boost motivation and teamwork?
Face-to-face meetings are irreplaceable. I work remotely for the past 4 years already, and we collaborate very well. It's not a problem. But when you meet in person, you're able to connect at a deeper level. And we are always looking forward to our next meeting, right? And it's an opportunity to really go deeper into certain topics in our lives, bond, offer support, right? Connect with our colleagues is a great way to create a more cohesive team. It's a team that I know, for example, Lisa and I are collaborating, and I know she has my back on this, right? If I'm not feeling well today, she'll cover for me, and then tomorrow I can cover for her. And this is very important for highly performance teams. And in this way, you can do it for sure in retreat.
So based on your research, what types of activities make people the happiest during a retreat?
And this is the €1 million question. Happy moments and happy experiences are different for different people. Let's begin with that. And for some people, it will be amazing to just bond, to get to know their peers, and have a great time with them, having a good laugh and enjoying time together. For others, will be like learning new things, and those things could be related to work or to their personal lives. It's very important to have a psychologically safe environment. So knowing that you can come, show your full self, feeling that you're not going to be judged by your comments, by your ideas, by whatever you're bringing to the table.
Companies typically justify the cost of a retreat with the need to work a lot during the retreat. In your opinion, what should this work look like?
To go into that, we need to understand the nature of work and what we need in order to perform tasks and collaborate well. Once we have that, we can separate in different tasks. Personally, if you invite me to a meeting or a retreat and then we sit there side by side, but we are still answering our own emails and not really collaborating, then it wouldn't be so fruitful. You can separate work into one, learning. So you can set up like different learning activities, either for your personal life or for anything related to work. The other one is on bonding. You're helping your team bond, create the fabric that will move your team forward, right? Working on any type of activity that will help them get to know each other. And then the last one is on creating. So getting together to build a new product or brainstorm on new processes and anything that would really move forward the company.
So learning, bonding and creating, I think that's a very nice framework, not only for what work should look like, but also what the whole retreat could look like. Is there an ideal mix between work, leisure activities and free time?
So after seeing your model, I think yours works very well, right? And just to also bring different perspectives here, we do need to have some part devoted to work or activities that will make work fruitful in the near future, but also some time for people to bond and create things on their own. For example, let's take Google. They have a 80-20 ratio. 80% of their employees' time is devoted to the company, and they have 20% of their working hours to their most creative project. And then this has led to many innovations and a very fruitful and innovative culture. Another one that I'm seeing now is the 4-day work week. I know it's not for everyone, but my experience with these companies have been really outstanding. People really appreciate the extra time off, and they're much calmer, much more helpful, kinder to us when we get there to the company. So it's been a great experience.
So I guess it really depends on the company and what their goals are. But what you're saying is there should be enough time to do other things than work, and in particularly not doing the work that you could have done by yourself at home.
Exactly. And here I would like also to bring one concept that we work in positive psychology, which is Natan, which the word in Hebrew means to give. But Natan is the same written from backwards as well. So it's really this idea that what you give, you receive. And companies would be very surprised by the fact that whenever they give or they gift their employees with this lovely time outside or some little surprises, how grateful their employees would be and certainly would feel like giving back to the company.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree, and I think it's one thing that many companies fall for is that they don't put enough free time in there for everyone. And it's crucial if you think about the fact that you have introverts and extroverts, and that introverts typically need more time to recharge their social batteries. And so this free time could be seen as a gift from the company as well, to just recharge and relax a bit, right?
Yes, it's really important to embed those times. Also have different types of breaks, like brain breaks, physical breaks, so you don't burn out your employees during a retreat or something like this. Otherwise, it's too much, and then you can have a backlash. Different people have different needs, and we certainly benefit from having time to just reflect about our lives, the path we want to follow, and even about the activities we are having during like a company retreat is fundamental.
So you mentioned before that you've been on a couple of retreats yourself. What are your best experiences, your best memories of these retreats, and were there any things that were not that nice?
I think one of the best ones was this one that we went to a spa for a whole day, and we had a few activities built for us, but if we just wanted to relax the entire day at either the jacuzzi or at the pool, we could just do that. And you can guess which one I did. So I felt it was a gift from the company to all of us. I felt very grateful. As soon as we got back, I emailed the director and thanked her for it. And I remember like throughout the year feeling like, oh, and they gave us that day. It was so nice. So it definitely gave me a very good feeling throughout the year. And about the not so desirable right experiences I had was when we were invited to the team meetings, and we had to compress all the work we had to do in 2 days, and it was very intense with not many breaks, and we had to order food and eat over our desks and our computers. It just didn't create an environment that was conducive for good performance, flow of ideas. We did a lot. We accomplished a lot, but it had a cost. It wasn't so pleasant to have so much work crunched at that time. Yes.
Good, thank you so much for your time, Blenda. I think this was incredibly interesting. I loved the new model of learning, bonding and creating, and I think this is something retreat organizers should keep in mind when they're thinking about the type of activities and the amount of work they want to do on a retreat. So thank you so much for your time, Blenda.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa. It was a pleasure for me.